Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
There you go.
Going. A little bit more. There, that's got it. Okay. Clamp it. An inch here. Okay. An inch and a half on this side. Well, you don't have to really pull on it yet. Just be sure it's pinned fairly close.
Oh, I think I get the hang of it now.
Good girl, using your head today.
It only took me 30 minutes to figure this one.
Most of us who make quilts do it for people we love. Quilts go on 100, 150 years. I mean, sometimes they become heirlooms. That sort of gives us an in on being remembered in future generations, but it also is something very special because it's usually handed down, and it came from love. It came from love is the biggest thing, I think. So we just love to do it. I tell everybody that I started the Blackland Quilt Guild because I wanted somebody to quilt with. But that's only part of the story. I did want someone to quilt with. The real reason I think I started it is because one of the girls that's a member of the Artists Guild in Taylor told me the story of how they had someone come in and evaluate their city because the merchants didn't have enough coming in to really make it, and some of them had to close their doors. And they said the reason for that was that the bypass went in and bypassed our town. And that the only thing that could save that would be if you established the arts. So I decided to take up quilting, and I decided that I wanted somebody to quilt with, but that also was an art and it would help our town.
That was one of the reasons I chose Taylor when I moved from Dallas, because it had to have a quilt guild.
Since I've started with this organization, why, I've really learned a lot and had a good time. So I get into this. I don't even clean house if I don't have to.
There is an art to it, and it takes practice. And today we use so many machines, and they're so much faster that we're losing this art, I think, somewhat. There are still the purists, the people who want everything hand quilted. But when you think that you can spend hours doing this, and then when you can get on a machine and do a whole quilt in like 4 or 5 hours, and you'll spend like two winters doing a whole quilt in hand, it's just so much faster, and then you can get on to the next project to do it by the machine.
I have a long arm quilting shop. I offer classes on the long arm machines, and I rent time on them so quilters can come in and finish their own quilts, and I quilt other quilters. I finish other quilters' quilts. The long arm machine allows them to place their quilt, back and batting in layers on a long table, and it's all smooth, no wrinkles, no problems. You can quilt a large queen-size quilt in just a few hours. Quilting is the fastest growing craft in the country. Fabric stores are closing right and left. Quilt stores are opening.
Hebrews 4:16. Let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace, that we may...
We're sort of a small group squared, and under the umbrella of our church to use, and that's our group, that's our interest is quilting. And so we get together and we have our devotion and we have our prayer when we leave, and we're becoming a lot better acquainted with each other and kind of have a chance to talk and support each other.
I have quilts from my great-grandmothers on both sides. I have quilting patterns from my great-grandmother. My mother is a quilter.
And when did you learn?
When I started, I learn as you go. This is a challenge quilt. We were have this fabric from the Quilt Guild, and we were challenged to make something with it. It has 19 cats on there. You have to find all the cats.
Quilting for women now is not like it used to be, because the quilts used to be something that was a necessity, whereas today we have central heat. We have wonderful blankets being made. In days gone by, they didn't have such things, and lots of times if they had a blanket and it was worn, they covered it with little pieces of old clothing, feed sacks, whatever they could find, and they would sew them together by hand. They didn't even have machines, and they put them back on the bed for warmth. And my mother is 99, and she says she doesn't ever remember being warm as a child. I think the more modern days now have brought quilts that are art pieces, that are made to be beautiful, to help beautify the home, to make the beds look really great. And are they useful? Yes, definitely. But it's a dual purpose now. It's not just for warmth. Well, you know, I kind of have like these things. This is going to be my daughter's quilt, and it's got all these stars. So it's one that's in progress. Here's another one that's in progress. My goal is to finally someday get through all my fabrics and make something out of all of them. But we have, it's called our stash. And I guess the old saying that the one who dies with the most fabric in their stash wins. Who knows, because none of us ever seem to get through our stash.
Become a docublogger. Log on to docubloggers.org to share your opinions and story ideas, or get out your camera and create your own docublog.